Hi there everyone, this is Ben Heath recording for MtgUK, and today I will be doing a daily event. The deck I've got in front of me is Jon Finkel's list of Esper spirits from his Pro Tour Dark Ascension top 8 performance. It's not an exact 75, it's 73 of 75. I've taken out one Dungeon Geist and stuck in an extra land because when I initially played the deck only ran 22 land, and that's not a lot. So the deck runs Delver of Secrets, Snapcaster Mage, Drogskull Captain, and Dungeon Geist as its creatures, as well as 3 Phantasmal Image to copy, usually Drogskull Captains, sometimes it copies Dungeon Geists. Just going through the creatures quickly, Dungeon Geist is really, it's the sower of the set. It's got 1 more power and toughness than sower, but you don't actually take control, but by tapping it down you render it pretty much useless anyway. So for me it's just as good as sower. I've got 2 more Dungeon Geists in the sideboard as well for things against ramp and stuff like that, but I'll go through the sideboard later. Drogskull Captain, for those unfamiliar with the Dark Ascension Lords, this one is a 2/2 flyer which gives other spirits +1/+1 and hexproof, but if you can get 2 out, since Drogskull Captain's a spirit itself, they both gain hexproof, and that's when things become really difficult for your opponent. And they need mass removal like Slag Storm, Day of Judgment, or Black Sun Zenith. Snapcaster Mage helps you bring back your multiple instants or sorceries. There's 21 instants and sorceries in the deck, so 4 Snapcaster Mage really is a given. And 4 Delver of Secrets. Now, if you are a member of the MtgUK Decks and Discussion Ideas Facebook page, you'll have noticed that there is a Andrew Quinn versus the world argument on Delver of Secrets. So I've decided to go all Sebastian Parker on your asses and do a spreadsheet. Now, this spreadsheet represents a turn 1 Delver. I don't know why I put turn played there. That should really be hand size. Now, 7 on the play. Now, mathematically, when if the probability is above 50%, you mathematically expect it to happen. That's what 3 years of first year of maths has taught me. So if you've got, so the hand sizes here are 7 on the play, where on average you'll get 2 instants of sorceries in your opening hand. 7 on the draw, where after you've drawn your card on your first turn you'll have 3 instants and sorceries. 6 on the play and 5 on the play, which will have 2 instants and sorceries in your opening hand on average. The reason I haven't done 6 on the draw and 5 on the draw is because they're the same as 7 on the play and 6 on the play respectively. So these percentages, despite looking very precise, are actually pretty rough because you're not including things, these are natural, so you're not including things like turn 2 ponder for your flip after 2 turns probability. So for your first flip, it's basically number of instants and sorceries left in the deck divided by how many cards left in the deck. So if you're 7 on the play, 35.85% chance. So you shouldn't really, and it stays at about 35% for all hand sizes. So basically, you shouldn't really expect to flip it on turn 1. If you flip it, however, when it gets to turn 2, you can expect it to flip because there's a further 23% chance that it will flip on turn 2 if it doesn't flip on turn 1. Accumulated, this comes to about around just under 60%. again, depending on your hand size. The smaller your hand size, the less likely it is you are to flip on turn 2. But as a general rule, it's not really relevant. It's 2% difference. And then by the time you get to turn 3, you're looking at about 70 to 75%. So you can really, 3 times out of 4 it will flip, or 7 times out of 10 it will flip over. So these are rough guides. Again, this doesn't include stuff like pondering. If you want to make your own spreadsheet and include ponder, you can do that. But most of the time, you don't always have Delver and Ponder in your opening hand, and sometimes Ponder won't always get you an instant and sorcery either. So really, you're only adding an extra 2 or 3% at best, as a rough guess. So your preference of Delver basically comes down to: do you fancy your chances of flipping Delver of Secrets after 2 turns? Because a 3/2 flyer is very nice. You won't get. Remember, as it gets later and later to flip, you're missing out on 3 damage. So yes, it's a risky card, and no, you don't have to like it, but I just think that a 3 power flyer out by that you can attack with on average turn 3, you just can't say no. With the lack of removal in the format, a lot of people are preferring to play creatures right now. So there's not an awful lot of removal in the format. Gutshot and Dismember saw a bit of popularity, then they both waned. So I think, I having done the statistics and having done this chart, I think it's worth playing for Delver. I do think it's a 4-0 card, but the argument for not playing Delver is there. Just because Star City Games top 8s, just because it's popular doesn't necessarily mean it's right, is my point. So although I can see Andrew Quinn's logic, for me 55 to 60% is enough for me to want to play for Delver. So that's my stance. So getting the creatures out the way, excuse me whilst I sort my mouse out. Getting the creatures out the way. So we've got 4 Gitaxian Probe and 4 Ponder. These help with Ponder helps with fixing your draws, and Gitaxian Probe, I think personally, is one of the best cards in the deck. The information you get helps to sculpt your hand. Not to sculpt your hand, to sculpt your plays, and not if they do have Master Removal in hand, not to overextend. In my testing, that's already been relevant, and for me, it's nothing less than a 4 in this particular build. You've also got a removal package in the form of a singleton Gutshot, 4 Vapor Snags for creatures, and then the Revoke Existence and Divine Offering for artifacts. Gutshot's nice. If your opponent's playing something like green-white humans or tempered steel or other things like that, the singleton Gutshot is really nice. And also if they go turn 1 mana accelerant like Birds of Paradise, Officers, Pilgrim or Llanowar Elves, it's really nice. And tempered steel, Signal Pest. Vapor Snags are really nice. They are not the same as Unsummon, because the 1 damage is really important. Basically with Esper Spirit, you're just trying to deal 20 damage, and anything that helps you deal that 20 damage is a good thing for me. And Vapor Snag is tempo and it's life loss, so you just can't say no to 4. And then Revoke Existence, Divine Offering. One of each, because Revoke Existence, they both one of each because they actually do different things. Revoke Existence, exiling artifact or enchantment. The difference really between exiling and destroying is really irrelevant unless they're playing Sun Titan, but not a lot of people are playing Sun Titan right now, so it's not particularly relevant right now. So the one of each, which I agree with, because one gains your life, which is relevant, and one can destroy enchantments, which is relevant with Intangible Virtues and Honor of the Pure seeing play. You've also got two Mana Leaks. Two's right because this is an aggro deck. Well, for me, it's an aggro deck, and you just want to get in and deal damage. The two Mana Leaks are there though for when a problem comes along and you need to counter it. Mana leaking a Day of Judgment or a mass removal spell, mana leaking a Titan. These are all good plays. And then finally, the reason why it's called Spirits, 4 Lingering Souls. I'll just bring them up over here. This is the Spectral Procession of the format. Spectral Procession was absolutely nuts, and this isn't far behind. This puts in 2 1/1 white spirit tokens into play as opposed to 3, but the fact it's got flashback is just it's nuts. Games are won and lost on cards like Lingering Souls. In the mirror, whoever plays their Lingering Souls more or better wins, and you've effectively got 8. You've got 8 token producing spells. It's nuts. It's just like Squadron Hawk for me. Instead of drawing 3 cards, effectively you're making 3 more creatures for 2 and a white, or 3 a white and a black. I think it's nuts. So that's the deck. Quick look at the lands. Again, I stuck in an extra island, went up to 23 land because I just don't think 22 is enough. 2 Evolving Wilds for if you need to fix your mana. These have been very useful, fetching your singleton plains or swamps, plains or swamp even, and then 2 Moorland Haunt for when you need to generate blockers, or if you need to give your deck reach. Looking at the sideboard, I'll just sort this out. There, here we go. So you've got 1 Celestial Purge, bring that in against decks that run red or black. Simple enough, really. Demystify, you bring it in against humans, because they play all sorts of enchantments. Oblivion Ring, Intangible Virtue, Honor of the Pure, just to name a few. Also, if you see Curse of Death's Hold, you might consider wanting to bring in Demystify over Divine Offering. It's down to personal preference. Here you have more removal in the form of Gut Shot and Dismember. Gut Shots you bring in against Tempered Steel and creature-based ramp decks, and Dismember you bring in against things like Grixis Control, because killing Olivia Bordaren in that matchup is vital. Sorry about that, my internet's been dodgy for the past month or so, sometimes I get logged off. How professional. Anyway, so we just went through the removal. We'll go on to Dissipate, Mana Leak, Negate. These are brought in against control matchups. Phantasmal Image, 4th Phantasmal Image against things you need Phantasmal Image for, I guess. I've brought it in so far against Ramp and the Mirror, because copying the Drogskull Captain is often quite funny. You've got an extra Divine Offering and Revoke Existence. I really ought to put those in with Demystify over there. An extra 1 of each, just in case you favour one over the other in a matchup. You've also got an extra 2 Dungeon Geist. These come in against Ramp and sometimes Freaks or Frights, whichever way Raphael Levy wants to pronounce it. And 2 surgical extractions also brought in against things like the mirror. It's brought in against the mirror for Snapcaster mages. It's brought in against ramp, so you can surgically extract primeval titans if you can somehow get them into the graveyard. It's not very likely though, so I personally won't be bringing them in. But also against frights, where you can exile things like Elesh Norn or Unburial Rites. Unburial Rites being a favourite target of mine. Now, before I end this video, I would like to thank thank Grant Hislop or Vaughn Swift or whatever the fuck he wants to call himself today for lending me most of the more expensive cards for the deck, so I can make this video and playtest for Leal. So thank you very much, you mad Scotsman, you. And finally, talking about Leal, you may remember last time I wrote about building a Naya deck and playing it in Leal. I'm currently stuck between that Naya list, which has been doing quite well for me, and this list, which has just been so smooth. It's been nothing but good to me, and I'm quite torn at the moment. I'm slightly favouring this list at the moment, but I won't count Naya out just yet. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you for round 1.